Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we will be looking at the Black Cobras gang for Street Wars NYC, put out by Funky Skulls Games. So came out recently on a Kickstarter. So I paid $22.50 before shipping and handling from Scotland to acquire this. Now there's three things that came. There's no fancy box, which I'm okay with. But I've got the models here, wrapped in bubble. Got the cards for my gang, shrink wrapped. And I have the decals to show their gang affiliation for their cuts there. So we'll get these open. So you can see these are very similar to certain 1970s films here. And we have 8 models. So paying just a bit over $2 a miniature here. Now let's just grab a model here. And see you've got some flashing at the gates, a couple spots. But the mold lines are actually not readily apparent, so these look like the molds are still fresh. There's our leader, Shogun. But let's get into the cards. So we have 8 models, which is about a standard size gang in Street Wars NYC. And we have cards where the pictures match the sculpt of the model. So one for all 8 guys. We have our leader, the warlord, 2 lieutenants, 4 soldiers, and a new blood. Excellent. Alright, let's get these guys cleaned up, put together, and on the mat. I've finished basing and cleaning up my Black Cobras. The slots fit into the models perfectly, so I didn't need to fill that in. I'll put some texturing on there to make it look like asphalt later. The models took less than an hour to clean and put in there. The only real mold line problems you'll have with these models is probably the underside of the arms there. Otherwise, the mold lines through the hair are non-existent, so that's good because I hate retexturing metal hair when I've got to clean a mold line out of it. And while these models are good by themselves, I was hoping to mix them with my existing 28mm range. So let's do that little Pepsi challenge comparison here. So something I've thought about using instead of police officers in the game is mob enforcers. So I've got Vincent and Jules here from Studio Miniatures. And I also might want to use them in other games where you hire some mercenaries to clean up your neighborhood. So I've got some representatives of the A-Team, also from Studio Miniatures. So you can see they fit perfectly well together, height-wise and just bulk-wise on the models. Something else I might want to do is mix some Yakuza in. So this is from North Star's 28mm line. And we can see, especially with the Black Cobras, mixing up some martial arts fury on the streets of New York. You can see that range fits in very well. And lastly, probably compare it to Spectre Miniatures 28mm line. So you can see the height is right, but this guy is a little bit more frail compared to the Funky Skulls line 28mm. But that's alright. He's just an objective piece, and it's not like he's burning it in the gym. Alright, but something else I want to do is see how they fit with my existing terrain line. So I like the New York City terrain from Marvel Crisis Protocol. And as we can see here, the 3-inch rise in the terrain means that it's very good for 20mm. Also fits in well with some of the climbing rules from Street Wars NYC, so that works well. And also you can see some of it in the background here. I'll pull it in. These are some files I got off Thingiverse from 3DP Design Lab. It's a remix of something done by Train for Print. These are the New York City brownstones. And you can see those fit in just perfectly. That'll be good background for my games there. So you can see these models fit in perfectly with my existing range. They work on my Frontline gaming mat. They fit in with my existing terrain. So I'll have models that I can bring into Street Wars NYC and models that I can take to other games and will work just fine. So very happy with this purchase at what came out to $2.75 a model. So that's a good price. Well, thank you for joining us at Miniature Wargaming Labs, and we'll see you next time.